Welcome to the Lara Jane Layton Show. This podcast is for you, the person who keeps putting others first. Your self-talk has held you back. You no longer need to take a second seat. Let's explore ways to overcome self-doubt. You can silence that inner bully voice and achieve your full potential. Here's your host, Lara Jane.
Hey, listener, it's Lara Jane. And today we are going to talk about tough times. Everybody has a different tough time. Some of us have lots of depression times or lots of anxiety times or family members that give us a tough time. Every time we experience a tough time, it's going to make us stronger. And sometimes we just need to sit back and reflect on what's going on and where is that feeling in my body and how do I release that? And one of the tricks that I enjoy is some box breathing. And that's just count in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold empty for 4, and just repeat. And just kind of that circular motion. And I know there's tapping and there's, I'll have a brain fart just so that, you don't feel like you're the only one ever. But there are so many ways to handle stress or anxiety or crazy family members that are driving you nuts. But at the same time, when these things happen and we make it through, we are stronger. And sometimes when the wind blows and it breaks a limb off of a tree, the tree actually becomes stronger after that. And so you can look at it as a whole process. Maybe I lost my mind for a moment and I became crazy, but I learned more about my trigger points. I learned more about where that pressure is building up in my body and how to let that vent off of that pressure. And one of my favorite books is Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And in there, he talks about sharpening the saw. And we can go and go and go and go. But until we just take that moment and just reflect and tune up for the next time. Because if you don't take that moment to rebuild and to determine where we could have made some changes. With my kids, I used to do the walkback process. Okay, how far back do we need to go to have changed the outcome? And then how do we recognize that trigger point that pushed us in that direction? And then how can we notice that trigger in the future? And how can we reroute the whole thing? And yeah, sometimes we're going to go back days or months, or it's nice when it can be like a few minutes. Oh my gosh, that's starting to trigger me and I'm going to deal with it. So just that walk back process of when did I start feeling this unease? And when did I start letting it circle around in my brain and let that bully voice take over and just cause craziness in your brain? It's when we need to have the friend in our head come back over and just calm us down. It's when someone's stressed, if you just rub their back a little bit or tell them some kind words, it kind of helps them to be or to release that pressure quicker and faster. And so what I want you to do as your own best friend is when you feel all that stress coming on and all the winds blowing or it's hot, it's all there to make you stronger. Whether the grindstone polishes you up or pulls you apart depends on what you're made of. And did you know with the heat and pressure, sandstone can become strong? And it's not that, oh, let's focus on that it can easily crumble now. Just know that every time you go through this pressure and you come out learning, you are stronger. So sharpen that saw, pressurize yourself into that diamond. You don't have to be coal. You can be diamonds, but it takes a lot of heat and pressure to do that. And so just embrace it. It's that gratitude, that attitude of gratitude. My friend used to call it that, and I loved it. I thought it was so cute. But it's getting the time every day to write something down that you're grateful for. I do 3 things a day. Some people do 1. Some people do pages. It's pick somewhere to start. If you can find something today to be grateful for, you're going to be stronger and you're going to make it through another day of building strength. I love the ups and downs. I love the ups way more than the downs in the process. But some of the craziest, hardest, toughest times are the ones that I appreciate years later, because I realize how much I really did learn, how much I really did change. And sometimes it takes years before we realize what it did. My almost rape, the one that made me feel ugly for years and years and years, it took 20 some odd years before I came to grasp of where it actually helped me instead of limited me. So if we can get rid of those limiting thoughts, it is really the only way to be content with where you're at, is to not limit yourself. If you want some help working on releasing your limitations, working on reflecting on the hard times and turning them into the best thing that ever happened to you, it's what I do with my coaching sessions. I'm here to help or support or let you feel listened to. It's whatever you need. There's always someone out there that can support you and that can be the person who listens to you unconditionally without judgment. There are coaches everywhere, and you can find someone that can support your journey. If you want to check mine out, it's LaraJaneLayton.com. So go sharpen your saw. Get someone in your court, whether it's your spouse or your best friend or your own best friend in your mind. You can do this. Tough times. We're going to get stronger. Enjoy the day. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is our interview episode. Oh, right. And I am not a medical professional. I am not a mental professional. Just here for entertainment. Next time.
Are you tired of waking up exhausted? You are not alone. If you're looking to take your life back, let's start with the simple step of adjusting your self-talk. Stay tuned for the next episode with your host, Lara Jane. Remember to follow the show so you don't miss the next simple step that you can use to feel more confident. And please leave an honest review.